What's up, everyone? It's Ryan Friend from Dust2.us. I am here with Makzwell, fresh off a victory against Vireo.pro. Was a barn burner, went back and forth the entire time. I mean, right before this interview, you were doing deep breaths. I mean, how do you really feel after that?
Shell shock, to be honest. It was a good series. All maps were 2 rounds apart. Actually crazy. I'm actually speechless because it was just like, there was points of tilt from actually everyone. There was points of everyone being confident. It was just, I don't even know.
So that first map, you were telling me you guys were down 14-5, but you came all the way back to be able to win it. What kind of mental strength do you guys have in order to stay in that fight?
This is gonna sound kind of counterintuitive, but we kind of just like took down our walls. We just let JBA call for literally anything, and he was calling like FPL strats, like he's saying like flash this, like I'm just gonna peek this, and it was working, and we just kept doing it, and you could tell that they were just getting so scared, and we actually did better the less we cared at some point because we weren't afraid of losing. We were just playing to win.
Well, that second map then became tough. You went into overtime, and that was a loss for you. And then finally, this last map, again, going the full distance. Really just the mental wear. How do you stay in it in an environment like Frag where it's so high energy, so loud, and you're constantly under pressure from everyone watching you literally 2 feet behind your seat?
Honestly, the first map was kind of like, it was like a seal. Like once we got past the first map, like we weren't really tilting that much. Like we'd get like emo if we were losing, obviously, but like I don't think we were ever out of it. Even Overpass, where it was like we were kind of like losing by a lot of rounds. It wasn't really close. We still didn't give up, kind of like type of thing. I think it's very easy to ride those highs. It's actually easier than you'd expect to like cancel out the lows. And like if you troll around, it's everyone's right next to each other, so you can't really like be emo. It's easy to keep up the spirits, high-fiving, all that shit.
So a few weeks ago, Dust2 came out with a top 10 advanced player list. We had Scar, JBA, and Stamina on that. You guys seem to be struggling a little bit right now, but you also seem to have some of the most talented players in the league. What are your thoughts? What do you think's really missing there for everyone to just click?
So, without a doubt, all 3 of those players, like honestly, all 5 of us, I'm kind of biased, but those 3, the potential is actually insane. Like we know what Bobby is capable of, Stamina. JBA is actually, I've never seen a better aimer in my life. The kid is like 18 years old, watches XQC and just shoots people. That's all he does. He's actually the weirdest kid. And Scar, he's very aggro. He's very Yakinder-like. And I think the biggest thing is they're 3 very different styles. Bobby's very EU, like everything done right. Josh is very loose, like he just wants to shoot people. And then Matt likes to get set up for these aggro plays. Scar. And honestly, Bobby and Matt play a lot of spots, but then there's some maps where that dynamic doesn't work, so it's kind of hard for them to ping pong off each other, and they have different things they want to do. But I feel like as the season's been on, in the advanced season, we've got better and better. And all 3 of our losses are actually on Inferno, so I actually think we're doing a lot better than our record kind of shows, especially with like the RMR stuff and almost beating EG, stuff like that, almost beating Timberman.
Yeah, talk to me a little bit about that. You guys were so close against beating EEG. Do you think that's a testament to what your potential really is on the server?
I'd like to say so. I'd like to argue that we should have won it. It was like 15-11. I think that's where the inexperience comes into play. Like 4 of us definitely were nervous. I know even Bobby was a little nervous because it's just like, they just put their heads down at that point and started running at us, and that's kind of where they're better than us, and especially under pressure we weren't as good. But I do think it's a very good testament. If we're able to do that and we can get to the finish line, we just have to overcome it, as easy as it sounds.
So Fragadelphia, obviously a very big event. We have so many more teams here than I think we've ever had before. It's also a 100K event. Do you feel more pressure just because of how big it's got?
I personally don't. I think it's actually a really cool experience. I think it's so diverse that it's kind of like you don't know. Like, there's a lot of different style of teams. Like we face 7 AM, we face Vireo.pro, we face like a pug mix of friends that are actually our friends. It's actually very easy to get in the zone, no matter who you're playing, play your own game. And it's actually really interesting to be able to see all the dynamics come into play and see how you rank up against each team.
So you have one more team that you're going to have to play. I think it's Victorum. Then that one's going to be the decider if you go into groups tomorrow. How, is there, again, these constant eliminations in this lower bracket run, is there any like more pressure? Are you trying to think of anything, or are you going to play that loose style that you were saying just before, just try and go at it and not overthink?
Without a doubt, there's a lot more pressure now, but I do think our best chance of winning is not worrying about losing, playing our own game. Literally just remember where we're at. We came all the way here to just win. Don't play to not lose, kind of thing.
All right, well, Maxwell, best of luck to you later on today. I appreciate it. That's going to do it for this interview. Everyone, make sure that you're checking out dust2.us for more extended video interviews and written interviews by other journalists that we've had here. With that, we'll see you on the next video.